You may have noticed that some famous scientists known for their intelligence, like Einstein, appeared to have larger head sizes compared to their bodies. Various researchers in the field of psychology conducted studies in the 19th and 20th centuries about this observation. To understand the relationship between head size and intelligence, we need to take a somewhat historical journey. The dates we need to go back to are the 19th and 20th centuries. These years were a time when science was progressing with methods that might be considered primitive by today's standards, or rather, it was crawling forward. During this time, figures like Paul Broca, Franz Gall, and Carl Wernicke weren't confined to just one field, they were involved in psychology, anthropology, and physiology. One of the most popular theories of that era was phrenology and craniometry. In those years, measuring a person's head was considered sufficient to determine their personality traits and level of intelligence. The device you see in the photograph from 1902 was used to measure head size. First and foremost, let's establish that phrenology is not a theory with scientific validity today. However, in the 19th and 20th centuries, the phrenology theory suggested that measuring the size and shape of different brain regions was necessary to determine a person's personality traits and intelligence level. In contrast, craniometry is a technique that anthropologists still use today, unlike phrenology. In this technique, measurements are taken of brain dimensions, weight, and other physical characteristics. However, the critical point here is that this technique is not used to measure intelligence or determine personality. It is exclusively employed for research purposes related to human evolution. In today's context, measuring head circumference is primarily carried out by healthcare professionals to monitor the development of infants. Nevertheless, you can still perform this by using a measuring tape to measure the circumference of your own head. The measurement of a person's head circumference is typically taken above the eyebrows and ears. It is believed that head size is influenced by various factors, such as genetics and environmental influences. We assume you have learned not to rely on IQ tests found on the internet. Intelligence, IQ, is a complex trait that develops through a combination of genetic and environmental factors, along with education. It is often assessed using cognitive ability tests that evaluate various cognitive skills such as memory, problem-solving, and language skills. These tests require specific training and certifications, and certain professional groups, such as psychologists, are qualified to administer them. Internet tests claiming to determine your intelligence in 10 minutes have no validity or reliability. Let's also take a look at some research examining the correlation between head size and intelligence. In a meta-analysis published in the Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews journal in 2015, the correlation between brain volume and intelligence was investigated. This analysis examined 88 studies and concluded that while there might not be a direct relationship between head circumference and intelligence, there could be a positive correlation between brain volume and intelligence. A similar study was conducted by Michael A. McDaniel and published in the Intelligence Journal in 2015. This study examined a relationship between brain volume and intelligence and also found a potential positive correlation between the size of the brain and intelligence level. In other words, both studies indicate that the size of your head might not be as important as the volume of your brain. According to research, having a larger brain volume can be associated with higher levels of intelligence.